Hello. So, let's see. We just left off where King Oberon was talking to Puck, who is, what is he again? He's a little sprite. So he's a little sprite, and which is, I think, is similar to a fairy, and he is King Oberon's little servant. So he asked Puck, since remember, King Oberon is very upset with his queen Titania. They've been arguing. So he wants to play a trick on her. And so he told Puck to go find this special flower that when you squeeze the juices on someone's sleeping eyelids, once they open their eyes, the first thing they see, the first alive thing they see, they will fall in love with. So he sent little Puck on his way. Puck flew off in search of the magic plant. The king would use it to punish his queen. Suddenly, Demetrius, who I think I'm blocking, Demetrius, this guy, burst into the clearing, followed closely by the stumbling, breathless Helena. Knowing that fairies are invisible to people, Oberon moved closer to observe this peculiar pair. So Oberon is over there watching them as they're in the clearing together. "Pursue me not," Demetrius shouted over his shoulder. "Do I not in plainest truth tell you I do not and cannot love you?" So he's telling Helena, he's saying, "Stop chasing me. I don't love you. Move on." "And for that truthfulness do I love you the more." Helena lifted her long skirt and thrashed through some brambles. So there's like little bushes that keep getting caught on her skirt or her dress or whatever. And so Helen is telling Demetrius that the fact that he's being so honest with her about how he feels makes her love him even more, which is not helpful. "Spurn me, but let me follow you." So she's saying, you can yell at me, but I'm still going to keep chasing you. Demetrius glanced around the clearing. "I'll run from you and leave you to the mercy of wild beasts," he shouted. Demetrius made a break for a thick patch of trees. Helena sprinted after him, so he's trying to run away from her, and she's just not letting him. Oberon stared after the couple thoughtfully. Just then, Puck returned and presented him with a small purple flower. Oberon tore off a few petals and gave them to Puck. "See through that grove," he said. "There, a sweet Athenian lady is in love with a disdainful youth. Anoint his eyes, but do it when the next thing he sees may be the lady." So he's telling Puck to use those magical flowers and sprinkle the juice on Demetrius's sleeping eyes so that when he wakes up, he will fall for Helena, so that they can actually be in love with each other at the same time. And I lost my spot. Let's see. Okay. "Thou shalt know the man by the Athenian garments he has on." So he's saying Puck will be able to recognize who these people are because their clothing has like Athenian markings of some kind. "I'll put a girdle around the earth in 40 minutes, boasted Puck, and he sped away. So I think that must be just a saying, a girdle around the earth. So he's just saying that he can control the earth. He has a lot of powers because he has those magic flowers. Oberon himself hurried to a time-covered bank. And this kind of time is not the time that you can tell by looking at a clock. This time is the plant. It's a type of herb, spelled differently. So a time-covered bank where Titania often spent the night. He waited as her attendants played sweet music to lull her to sleep. Then he crept forward and squeezed the enchanted flower juice into the queen's eyes. The king laughed and whispered, "Wake when some vile thing is near." So he's telling her to only wake up when something gross, some gross animal is nearby her, so that she'll fall in love with whatever she sees, right? Not far away, Hermia and Lysander struggled through dense undergrowth. When they finally emerged into a clearing, they stopped. So, remember, Hermia and Lysander. "I have forgotten our way," Lysander admitted. So remember, they're trying to run away to get married in secret, which is called eloping. So Lysander is saying they're lost. He suggested they rest until daybreak. Hermia collapsed on a patch of moss and Lysander lowered himself beside her. Hermia blushed and asked her sweetheart to lie further off. After all, they were not yet married. So she's saying, don't lay down next to me, go away, because we're not married. Lysander laughed awkwardly and found a spot some yards away. Soon they were both deeply asleep. Shortly after, Puck flitted by in search of Oberon's disdainful Athenian youth. When he spotted Lysander, he smiled. Who is here? Clothes of Athens he doth wear. So he sees, because remember, Hermia, Lysander, Demetrius, and Helena are all from the same, they're all from the same place. They all live in Athens. So of course, they're all going to be wearing clothing with the same kind of symbol on it. So Puck mistakenly thinks that Hermia and Lysander are Demetrius and Helena, which is not good. Let's see. The sprite quickly circled the clearing and spied Hermia, so he sees Hermia. And here, the maiden, sleeping sound on the dank and dirty ground. Puck knelt over Lysander and squeezed the magic flower juice into the young man's eyes. His job done, the sprite flew off to join Oberon. So he just put the magic flower juice into Lysander's eyes, thinking that it was Demetrius. Close by, Helena searched vainly for Demetrius, who had finally outrun her. She stumbled upon Lysander lying on the ground and gasped. So Helena has come across Lysander. Because remember, they weren't sleeping next to each other. They were sleeping some part away from each other because they're not married yet. Hermia thought it was wrong. So Helena has found Lysander, not Hermia. Oh, and Demetrius had run away. So Helena is just walking around. She couldn't find him. So she was really looking for Demetrius, and she found Lysander sleeping. Puck, wait, finish there. Demetrius had vowed to kill Lysander. Helena knelt over the still figure. Was he dead? So Helena thinks that Demetrius maybe had killed Lysander, and that's why Lysander is sleeping. Well, she thinks he's dead. Lysander, if you live, good sir, awake, she cried. Lysander's lids fluttered open, his charmed eyes fixed on Helena. So remember, he has the magic petal juice in his eyes, so whoever he sees, once he awakens, he will fall in love with. And he just looked at Helena. Passion turned his heart inside out. Not Hermia, but Helena I love, he said, seizing her hand. Who will not change a raven for a dove? So he's comparing them to birds and basically saying that Helena is a dove and Hermia is a raven, like a crow. So, of course, if you have the option, you're going to pick the dove over the raven. So, not very nice, but he has magical stuff on his eyes. Helena's eyes filled with tears. It was hard enough to endure Demetrius's scorn. Now Lysander mocked her with false words of love. So Helena is used to guys rejecting her, right? Like Demetrius. So she thinks that Lysander is pulling a joke on her and is pretending to be in love with her when really he is, because of the magic, right? He isn't actually, but the magic is making him feel as though he is. But he's not doing it as a joke, right? Helena twisted out of his grasp and plunged into the undergrowth, so she ran away. Lysander bolted after her with barely a backward glance at Hermia, who still lay sleeping. Meanwhile, Puck looked for Oberon near Titania's forest bed. So Puck is looking for Oberon to go back to his king, right? But before the sprite found his king, he found a new entertainment and a chance for mischief. A band of local workmen had met in the woods to rehearse a play. They hoped to stage it for the Duke's wedding feast. The workmen called their play the most lamentable comedy and most cruel death of Pyramus and Thisbe. As actors, these workmen were most lamentable. How do I explain this? So I don't think they were very good actors, but they're practicing for this play that they're going to do. And worst of all was a bombastic weaver named Bottom, who played the part of the romantic lead. So Puck was thoroughly amused by Bottom and the other men enthusiastically blundering through their lines, so they're not doing a very good job. And Bottom is the main lead, so he's the main romantic lead, which means, let's say they were doing Romeo and Juliet, Bottom would be playing Romeo, because he's in love with Juliet. But they're not very good actors, so Puck thinks this is funny. He decided to add his own mischievous magic to the comedy by topping Bottom with a donkey's head. So we're going to draw Bottom, and we're actually going to have help from my brother, who's going to come and join us. And he's going to draw Bottom because I'm bored of drawing people, and I think it will be fun for you guys to have a change of pace. So here are your colors to choose from. And you could draw him anywhere down here. Just don't draw him too low because he needs to be on camera. So remember, Bottom has a donkey's head. So draw a donkey's head.
Okay. Anywhere?
Anywhere. No, that should be fine. Leave space for his ears, though. Donkeys have big ears.
What's he look like?
I don't know. Use your imagination.
Right.
He's not described, except for the donkey's head. Yeah.
I feel like Bottom's gonna be a little fat.
He's gonna be fat? Sammy? My dog is saying hi. Can you see my dog? He was hiding behind here. Very nice.
He looks kind of steep.
Are you trying to sit on my lap? Oh my gosh. Here. Come on. Okay. Oh, he has hair too.
Uh-huh.
Very nice. Ooh, you guys, it's gonna be good. Nice. Don't forget to give him eyebrows. 'Cause I forgot to do that one time with King Lear. One of the princesses didn't have eyebrows for like a whole episode. That was really bad.
Do those look like ears?
Yeah. And then you need to write Bottom. Yeah. And then write Bottom.
How do you spell that? Just Bottom?
B-O-T-T-O-M. Okay, but write it neatly so they could read it if they want to copy it. Right? You guys like reading, neat writing, not messy writing. Oh yeah, the black's kind of dying. Use the purple. I've been using the purple. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, so I forgot to change these hearts, by the way, you guys. Aw, man. Okay, you need to get down. I need to be able to reach this markers. Okay, so we forgot that because of the magic, Demetrius, no, it was done to Lysander. So now, these hearts are only coming from Hermia, and Lysander is, should we do like a purple magic kind of thing going on? So now Lysander really loves Helena. Okay? Because he has those oh my gosh, Sammy, move away. So Lysander has the flower petal juice in his hand. Okay. You know what? We're actually going to end here, okay? But we will continue in the next video on all this drama. So you see how beautiful bottom turned out? Very cute. Okay. Bye guys. See you next episode.